For thousands of years, gourds in China have been a great choice for gifts and collector's items because of the pronunciation of gourd in Chinese is similar to the words happiness and fortune. So people would buy a gourd and wish it would bring them good luck. In Lanzhou of Gansu province, there is an ancient folk craft called gourd carving, which is one of the most unique folk crafts in China. Along the river during the Qingming Festival is one of the most famous panoramic paintings in Chinese history. It is famous for presenting various social classes by drawing detailed scenarios along the river. To carve such a detailed painting onto a gourd is even more unbelievable due to the limited carving area.
This is the first work that presents the painting on a gourd more completely than in previous history. This gourd is 43 centimeters high, and completing the carving took 3 months of hard work. The gourd has a spherical body, which naturally makes it very difficult to carve on and to make the figures look straight.
Lanzhou carved gourd is the only carved gourd that is carved with needles, which makes it highly collectible. It is also special for the ink painting after the carving is done. Therefore, the carving looks more obvious and the color is hard to fade. You can always see it clearly and touch it and feel the carving. After more than 100 years of development, many different styles of gourd carving have been invented. There are traditional styles, Western abstract styles, and Chinese realistic styles, and so on. But the most difficult style is called micro-carving.
People can carve ancient poems onto this little gourd with a radius of 2 centimeters without missing characters or making wrong characters. This is one of the micro-carving skills. We find the center of the gourd, separate the space with small squares, and then finish the carving from beginning to end without stopping. So the artist has to memorize all the poems and carve the font only by following his instinct.
Similar to micro-carving, there is another carving skill called tilted carving. This skill is usually used on carving the gourd in irregular shapes, such as the swelling gourd from Lanzhou.
A lot of people would ask if we carved it first and then made the gourd in the shape with a mold. No, we did not. They're all natural gourds. The carving skill is called tilted carving and is used on this kind of swelling gourd. We need to figure out the use of the space very carefully before the carving, and then arrange the characters one by one. So the carver needs to be very experienced and intelligent.
The Lanzhou carved gourds have become an outstanding art form, and its unique style formed after being developed by folk artists generation after generation. However, this art form is also facing the problems of finding successors and continuing development. It not only requires very sophisticated carving skills to make a good carved gourd, but also needs deep artistic conception and knowledgeable brains. Currently, there are still a few descendants of the gourd carving masters making carved gourds, but the artistic conception of their work is somewhat less sophisticated than the elders. Many of them lack creativity and are even limited to imitating the classics.
We're very worried about finding successors for this craft. It's very exhausting while carving a gourd because you have to use all of your body strength to control the tiny needle. Not so many young people want to do it. Now we've opened a gourd carving program in the community center, and we also go to different elementary schools and teach children how to carve gourds.
A lot of young people don't like hard work, but I think it is necessary to attract more people to this kind of art through media. Let more people learn it, so it won't be lost in the future.
Due to the high level of difficulty and the long production period, many of the younger generation are not willing to choose it as their career. So nowadays, most of the gourd carvers are middle-aged or older.